Hi guys, how y'all doing? So hope you guys are well. If you're in the US or you celebrate, I hope you had a really nice Thanksgiving. And I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for the holiday season. Like always, in New York, the decorations are up. It's really, nice festive time. So hope you guys are really excited. So today, I'm excited to bring back a fragrance review. And the reason that, I haven't been doing as many reviews recently, and this gets into the story of how I discovered this fragrance, Blu Atlas Atlantis, is that, the reason I haven't been doing so many fragrance reviews is I've been feeling recently that there haven't really been very outstanding releases in the industry. And I've been looking, trust me, I've sampled a lot of different niche scents. I would go in and out of the departments, Sephora sometimes. But it's the same story. It's flanker after flanker. There are some good scents that occasionally come out, but I haven't been blown away personally. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know as always if you have recommendations. I feel like in terms of the big houses, the big perfume houses, uh, they put out so many flankers, and it's rare to come across that kind of masterpiece that's gonna hold up with time, and it's gonna be something that's talked about long after its release, right? For example, like the original Terre d'Hermes, not that new flanker. I know some people do like it, but I wasn't impressed. I think there's the industry's lacking a little bit of uniqueness, and I don't know why that is. It could be a lot of reasons, but anyway, the fragrance we're talking about today, called Atlantis, is from the brand called Blu Atlas, and this is a skincare brand. And usually, I'm skeptical about fragrances from skincare or other, brands where fragrance is not their main thing. But I realize that actually they have an advantage in that there's less of an expectation of what their fragrances should smell like. And for them, I think this is their first fragrance release, so they have a lot more room to play with, and I think that they can be a lot more adventurous and be inspired, and that's what I like, and that's the whole point, that I'm in this hobby and the reason that I like fragrances. So getting into the inspiration for this scent, according to the brand, the scent was inspired by adventures in Bali. That's what they say on the website, and that's about all I know. And I think that's enough, right? You can let your own imagination do the rest of the work. And I think, before we even get into the scent, I think they did a great job capturing that mood. And that's from my reviews, you might know if you watch, that's the number one thing that I look for in a scent. How well it captures the aura of whatever it is trying to capture. And here, I think it does that really well. I watched some other fragrance reviewers' reviews, where, there's some kind of discrepancy sometimes. Like, is this aquatic? Is this not? Is this floral? Is this not? Is this, does it have a strong peach note or not? And I found different opinions. So I'll tell you what I get. I think that overall, it's a marine feeling scent for sure, and has a real tropical vibe. So I expected something fruity, and it's something a lot more interesting and complex than that. So we can get into the opening of the scent. Yeah, and from the start, it's probably gonna be like nothing else you smelled before. The number one note that I thought of, on my first impression of the scent, was actually watermelon, even though I knew that likely it didn't have a watermelon note, and it was just the combination I was smelling reminded me of watermelon. And that's because, and it changes as it dries down, that's because there's a little bit of this fruitiness, but a strong, watery, fresh, really, really invigorating vibe to this scent. And it's kind of in the same scent category as something like Millesime Imperial by Creed, but in some ways, I think for me, I like this a bit better. I won't speak to the quality of the ingredients necessarily, but I like this because there's a little more going on here. It's definitely more floral. Now, don't think floral like feminine scents, and I encourage you to watch Steven from Red Lessons review, because I am in kind of his camp in that in the opening, I get a really strong floral vibe. And what kind of floral vibe? Well, I definitely pick up on this iris. So it's not, it's not an iris like Dear Om. It's not that strong, amped up. It's basically you have this citrus floral combo that kind of is perfectly balanced, right? So that's why you're not going to get this overly powdery iris note, but you do get a touch powdery. I would say this type of floral note is something like a little more suede like, but it has a softness about it, the way that floral notes can have. So I get this softness, it's more of a texture, right, to the scent from iris. At the same time, there's a bit of a bitter floral smell as well, and I think that the violet is actually contributing to that. And that's because I've smelled scents with violet that have this similar kind of bitter floral quality. And of course, as this fragrance dries down, the violet continues to contribute this very ozonic, aquatic characteristic to the scent. And again, very evenly balanced with the citrus and floral. Now, what's interesting is another aspect that I pick up very strongly from the start is this very piercing, cooling kind of freshness. And I knew that this was lavender. And in fact, lavender is one of the notes listed. So you get this piercing, almost to me, like a minty vibe from this. So this is where I could smell a little bit more like, shampoo products or other grooming products, in that they do overutilize lavender as an ingredient, right? It's a very common clean aroma that's used even in cleaning products. So you definitely get a good dose of lavender here. It's not an old school kind of lavender based scent. Because overall, again, this is more of a tropical aquatic kind of scent, is because of the fruity notes here. I know they list blackcurrant. Honestly, I'm not sure how to describe blackcurrant, what exactly it smells like. I get definitely a peach note, a really juicy peach note. And I thought there are very few fragrances, unisex or masculine, that use an obvious peach note. I guess Chanel Allure Homme, the original, has that. This is more of a amped up peach note, more like in Mancera Sicily. I did a comparison video, I think, a while back of Mancera Sicily and Soleil d'Italie. I think Sicily was a little too fruity and bubblegummy and a little feminine. This is different because it has that same peach tone, but much more balanced with the bitterness, the kind of more grassy elements here, and then the herbal quality of the lavender. So it's a more aromatic floral scent in combination with this peach note. So I think that's why this captures the outdoors, an environment like Bali so well. You can feel the greenness, you can feel the fruitiness of the scent as well. And there's one, final aspect that I get that's very, very unique in general in fragrances. It's the use of ambrette. It's not super rare or uncommonly used, but it's an ingredient that really, to me, stands out in terms of the smell. So ambrette seeds give a musk smell. But what I get from ambrette seeds usually, and I get this here, it's a really well-rounded kind of milky tone almost. Musky, yes, but like a little bit musky, woody, and slightly milky, and that's really kind of creamy almost. And this reminds me of, I always think of the fragrance Byredo Mojave Ghost, which really utilizes a lot of ambrette and gives that fragrance that unique quality. So you get a little bit of that here. And again, this is its own thing because of this, trifecta of peach, ambrette, musk, and the herbal quality to the scent. So overall, kind of definitely masculine leaning because of the lavender. Yeah, but unique, right? And a little tropical because of this muskiness and the fruitiness that blends so well together. So I think this is, one of those, I wouldn't say like, it's necessarily formal or casual. I think it's a really perfect everyday cologne, like an everyday office scent, because it's so easy to like, and it's has the right kind of projection and intensity where you're gonna be smelled and you can overspray this type of scent, like 10 sprays, and yet it's not gonna be offensive because it's a clean watery scent. So it has while fruity, there's not an overdose of any one ingredient. That's what I like about this. So wearable, so fun, invigorating, and unique. And yeah, I'm surprised because it's coming from a brand where I typically wouldn't look for fragrances, right? Skincare brands. As of late, have been more into niche fragrances, back toward more freshies. Taste constantly changes, but yeah, it's where I wouldn't typically expect a great scent, but maybe this is where the hidden gems are nowadays. Because if you've been in this journey long enough, everything starts to smell the same, or I mean, obviously they're different, but you're waiting for the next great thing, right? Or something different. Try this. Yeah, definitely. If you think it's, I think it's good value, $100 for 100 ml. But try this. I think that you'll be happy if you generally like my recommendations. So anyway, yeah, excited to bring you guys this review. Hope you guys get a chance to try this fragrance, and I'll see you next time. Bye.